Oh, hey folks, Elder Law Care Attorney Patrick Kelleher coming to you from elderlawcare.com. Folks, today's video, we're going to talk about the Massachusetts Circuit Breaker Credit. What in the world is the Circuit Breaker Credit? That is what the Massachusetts legislature calls a tax credit given to Massachusetts residents who qualify, who are of age, and under a certain annual income level or threshold. They can get a tax credit on your personal income tax return, right? So let's talk about the rules of engagement. Who is not eligible for the Massachusetts Circuit Breaker tax credit? Right here. Non-residents, real easy, right? You need to be a resident. Non-residents, not eligible. Right here. Married filing separately. We talked about that already. So you can be married, but you need to file your income tax return. Married filing jointly over here. If you're filing for some reason, married filing separately, then you are not eligible, okay? Right here. If you are a dependent of another taxpayer, someone else is claiming you as a dependent on their tax return, you are not eligible for the Circuit Breaker tax credit. Also, if you are receiving state or federal subsidies, maybe like a Section 8 housing under Housing Urban Development, and you're already receiving subsidies in the house or home you live in, you're not eligible, okay? Also, if your home is assessed with greater value than that $1,172,000 right there, then you are not eligible, okay, for the Circuit Breaker tax credit. Also, if you do not meet the 3-year deadline of filing the CB, Form CB, right here, Schedule CB on your income tax return, 1040, then you are not eligible either. They have a deadline on that, folks, okay? Be aware of that. All right, so I'm going to pause here a moment. Again, who is eligible? We have it covered right here. Who is not eligible? We have it covered right here, okay? So these are the general rules of engagement right here, folks, for the Massachusetts Circuit Breaker tax credit. But we have a lot of clients that put their properties in trust. A lot of our clients put their property in irrevocable Medicaid trust to protect their home from what I call the metaphorical four-headed monster, from the $20,000 per month private paid nursing home, right? And a lot of other clients put their property in the revocable trust. So let's talk about trust, okay? If your property's in a trust, do you still qualify for the Massachusetts Circuit Breaker credit? And the answer is yes, yes. So that's great, folks, right here. So I'm going to put a big yes right here. Yes. But put a smiley face right there. Let's check it out. Because now we've got some additional rules of engagement here. So pay attention, please. House in a trust. Do we qualify? So long as your trust is what they call a grantor trust, okay? Grator, grantor trust. And from my experience, most revocable trusts are grantor trust. So if you have your house in a revocable trust and either you or your spouse are a trustee of your revocable trust, you qualify. You qualify. So long as you qualify with all the financial criteria over here as well, okay? What about irrevocable trust? If you have your property, like a lot of our clients, 65 and over, in an irrevocable Medicaid Asset Protection Trust, or what I refer to as a Veterans Asset Protection Trust, typically you're giving up control of the property because you're protecting your home from whom? The metaphorical fourth-headed monster, which is Medicaid, nursing home, so forth, which is extremely important because that 5-year clock running for folks to protect that home, get it off the table for Mass Health Medicaid and from the nursing home. Typically, you're going to lose a lot of those tax benefits. However, the legislature, in my opinion, very, very generous here, say, hey, even if you have an irrevocable trust, it still has to qualify as a grantor trust. A lot of clients or new clients who come to our educational programs in the community, our workshops, they come in with an older irrevocable trust. It's not a grantor trust because they do not have the proper language in the four corners of their instrument. So your irrevocable trust, from my understanding, still needs to qualify as a grantor trust, okay? And so long as it does, then the renter rules apply. Over here, guys. You still could qualify for the Massachusetts Circuit Breaker tax credit, even if you have an irrevocable trust, so long as it is a grantor trust. Different rules of engagement, though. You got to go by the renter rules. You got to run the numbers. Again, folks, in my opinion, this is a rather complex scenario and criteria. You should be working with a qualified elder law attorney who's going to get the calculator out and work with you. But even better, when you're filing your income tax return, you work with your qualified CPA, tax attorney, or enrolled agent, someone who's very familiar with the circuit breaker tax credit here in Massachusetts. And they can run the numbers for you. They can assess and evaluate your particular situation, even if your property's in trust, to determine whether you are eligible or not eligible, folks, okay? Oh, wait a minute. We have more. Assisted living facility. What is that? If you or your loved one is in an assisted living facility, you could still possibly qualify for the circuit breaker credit. However, the taxing authority, which is the Massachusetts Department of Revenue, will review whether you have what they call a landlord-tenant relationship. They will need to see that you have a landlord-tenant contract relationship with the assisted living facility or the skilled nursing facility, okay? But if it could be construed that the assisted living facility or the nursing home, the board that you're paying, the medical care that you're paying, if it could be construed as rent, then you may be able to qualify. Again, strongly advise work with your CPA or your tax professional expert on one of these scenarios right here, okay? Run the numbers, see if you qualify. When in doubt, seek advice from your elder law attorney or your tax professional before you file Schedule CB. All right, folks, hopefully this video was helpful. Strongly recommend click the subscribe button, click that notification bell, because we will continue to keep you updated on other important elder law matters. Also recommend go over to Amazon, pick up my book, Patrick Kelleher, How to Avoid the Four-Headed Monster of Estate Planning in Elder Law. Folks, thanks for joining us here today at elderlawcare.com. We'll see you next time.